This video is made with the sponsorship of Ecrotech New Zealand, one source for all your beekeeping requirements. Hi, Trev here from Trevs Bees on Facebook and YouTube. Firstly, before we get started, I've got a little bit of an apology. There's some building going on next door, on the building next door inside my house, and there's the odd banging that's going on and the odd nail gun that's being used. So if that happens, my apologies, but let's try and carry on regardless. So today I want to talk to you about Varroa treatments, and in particularly a new one that's just arrived here for me from Ecrotech. They've started importing this new product called Apitraz. Just to recap a little, there's really only two types of chemicals allowed in New Zealand for Varroa treatment. There's pyrethrum based stuff, and we know that as Varroa and Apitraz as the two New Zealand products. We also have Apitraz, which is a different family of chemicals, and traditionally in New Zealand we have only really had Apitraz. But there's a new boy on the block using the same chemical treatment, same chemical of Apitraz, and this is a new one called Apitraz. So a little play on words. The only difference is they've got a P in it instead of an M, and the rest of it is all the same. I've got these here as an intro pack from Ecrotech. They've only just started to import them. It's taken a couple of years to go through all the process to get this registered with MPI and all the health people, whoever have got to do that. This one is made in Spain. We'll open it up in a minute and we'll show you, but you can see it's a different thing, and it's very flexible as opposed to Apitraz, which is in a vacuum sealed aluminium container. I've compared the labels. They both have exactly the same amount of chemical, and that is 33 grams per kilogram of Apitraz, or 500 micrograms of chemical per strip. We still use 2 strips per brood box, and you can see here today, to show the point, I have 2 brood boxes here, sort of, make believe. We need to put 2 strips in here, and we need to put 2 strips in here. It says on here that the duration of the treatment is for between 6 and 10 weeks. I like to use 10 weeks, but that's me, I've grown up with that. So, let's have a look at the product. I like to use my craft knife to open it so I don't tear the packet. So if I don't use all the strips today, I can reseal the packet and use them again tomorrow. Generally, if I was when I'm using those strips, I give them about 48 hours and then I open a new packet. So I'll just make a little cut across the top. And we notice some differences from Apitraz for starters. For starters, this doesn't need to be torn apart. And as my arthritis is getting to me nowadays, tearing these Apitraz strips apart, to me, becomes a bit of a problem. We notice that up in here, we've got a little leg arrangement, so we can just snap those off, and it's designed to be bent and creased, so you can drop them down between the frames and you can sit them like that. So they sit very clean and easy if you do that. Or you can put a nail through them, drop them down between the strips and sit there. I think that the nail hole is too far down, and that becomes a little bit of an issue, and I've got to somehow try and fold it over. I've talked to Ecrotech about that. They're talking to the manufacturer. Whether anything gets done, I don't know. So, but these little legs here work quite well. Give them a good crease. Put them in. The best way is to open the frames out and then put the strip in and then put them in. Don't try and push them down, because there's always the chance, not very high, but there's always the chance that you may roll the queen and kill her. Now, placement of the strips is as per our normal instructions that we've had. They must go within the brood, where the brood is. And I'll stress that again. The strips must be in where the brood is. If you've put them in where the brood is, you go back a couple of weeks later and they've moved away from there, which they do, then you need to move the strips to a slightly different location so they're back in where the brood is. Preferably open brood, but it's going to get closed up anyway, so that's not quite so important. Must be where the brood is so you can get at the Varroa. So the most important thing, I guess, for us as beekeepers, how's the price compare? Well, they're pretty much of a muchness. Pack of 10 strips is $40. Depending on how many you're buying, as a hobbyist, you're only going to be buying 1 or 2 packs, so you're not going to get any discounts. Commercial, buying a few thousand strips, you might be able to talk a little bit of a discount, but you're going to be able to talk that same discount regardless of who the supplier is. So, to me, they're exactly the same price, $40 a pack of 10, which will do 2.5 hives. So, that's it from Trev and Trevs Bees on Facebook and YouTube. We'll catch you around the beehive.